When the emperor commands 5,000 elite soldiers to march north, Rome expects conquest. What it got was silence. An entire legion erased from history. This isn't a legend of a lost treasure or a forgotten kingdom. This is the truth behind Rome's greatest cover-up, and the brutal, terrifying end that waited for its finest men. Welcome back to Legendary Anime Tales. To understand the loss, you must first understand the value. The 9th Legion, the Legio IX Hispana, was no B-squad. Founded by Julius Caesar himself, they were among the veterans who carved out the empire we talked about in our video on the entire history of Rome. They were survivors. The 9th were the empire's shield when Rome planted its standard in the cursed mud of Britannia. They endured the absolute worst. In 60 AD, when the warrior queen Boudica unleashed her full barbaric fury, the 9th were nearly annihilated. They were routed, humiliated, but they did not break. They rebuilt. They persisted. They were Rome's answer to the chaos of the north. They were the tip of the spear. By the time of Emperor Trajan, they were stationed in York, a bulwark against the untamed lands. They were invincible, until they weren't. Their name is last reliably attested on a large inscription in York around 108 AD. After that date, the most powerful army in the world simply stops leaving records. The silence itself became a scream. The official story says they were annihilated by the Caledonian tribes. But what if the official story was a magnificent, brutal lie designed to conceal their failure? The popular legend, cemented by novels and movies, says the 9th marched into the northern fog, pursuing some rebellious tribes, and were swallowed whole. 5,000 souls cut down by painted warriors. A dramatic end, but a historically lazy one. Think about the logistics. For a legion to be annihilated, there must be a battle. There must be a crushing defeat. Yet Roman records mention nothing about a mass casualty event for the 9th. When the 9th was humiliated by Boudica decades earlier, the incident was meticulously recorded. A loss this massive would have rocked the Senate, forcing regime change, yet history is strangely quiet. The Roman bureaucracy didn't lose a legion like you lose your car keys. Someone deliberately erased them. This brings us to the ultimate symbol of Roman retreat, Hadrian's Wall. If you recall our video on King Arthur, we discussed how the Roman presence in Britain slowly waned, paving the way for the Dark Ages. Well, in 122 AD, Emperor Hadrian arrived and decided to draw a definitive line in the sand. The wall wasn't just a boundary, it was a psychological weapon. It wasn't built to keep the north out, it was built to keep the empire contained. It's also around this exact time that the 9th Legion's fate becomes sealed in mystery. The simplest explanation for an entire army vanishing is that they were defeated, yes, but not by Caledonians. They were defeated by the emperor's pen. So, if the 9th didn't die on the Scottish Highlands, where did they go? The answer requires leaving the damp fog of Britain entirely, and heading to the brutal heat of the eastern frontier. Here's the plot twist that anime scriptwriters love. The Legion wasn't destroyed, it was redeployed. It's, the military equivalent of being sent to an impossibly difficult, forgotten assignment. The key evidence comes not from Britain, but from the East. We have solid, if sparse, evidence of 9th Legion detachments in places like the Netherlands, and, crucially, a possible inscription in Judea. Imagine the strongest, most arrogant squad in your favorite military anime, the ones who always win, being suddenly transferred to a war zone so hellish the government doesn't even want to admit it exists. That was the 9th's fate. The early 100s AD saw brutal fighting in the east, but the true danger came in the 130s, during the Bar Kokhba revolt. This was a massive Jewish uprising against Rome, a conflict so vicious that Rome deployed nearly half of its entire standing army to crush it. This war was a meat grinder. Legions were shattered, rebuilt, and reshattered. This is the precise location and window where a powerful, but already disgraced, legion like the 9th could have been quietly bled dry, losing men until it ceased to exist as an effective unit. No glory, no grand annihilation, just attrition. Rome didn't lose them to a single boss fight. It was a slow, agonizing death by 1,000 paper cuts. If the 9th Legion was destroyed piece by piece, Why did Rome go to such lengths to erase their memory? Because the loss revealed a terrifying vulnerability. The empire was not infinite, and to hide that truth, they built a final, towering monument to fear. The final, most terrifying truth about the Ninth Legion is that their existence became a liability. Whether they were destroyed in the east or dissolved due to mass desertion, the truth was an embarrassment that damaged the narrative of Roman invincibility. Think about the theme we explored in our video on the pagan roots of Christmas. Rome was an empire that absorbed and repurposed myths to maintain control. The disappearance of the Ninth was a myth they couldn't control, so they simply fabricated a new one. Silent Erasure. The Ninth Legion was officially disbanded and their name was stricken from the rolls. Their legacy wasn't a hero's epic, it was a chilling, administrative end. They weren't just defeated, they were unpersoned. Whether they were swallowed by the fog of Scotland or shattered by the arrows of the Parthians, the Ninth Legion stands as a terrifying lesson. Even the greatest empires can lose their finest soldiers without a trace. Their true story is not a legend of monsters, but a chilling documentation of imperial censorship. But the Ninth weren't the only army that faced an impossible revenge. Click the video on your screen right now to uncover the true story of Hannibal's Oath, the story of the revenge that shocked the ancient world. Like and subscribe for more legendary anime tales. Hold it! If our deep dives into ancient history, like Gilgamesh or Harappa, get you excited, you're probably a fan of historical manga and anime. Check the description below. We've gathered the best books, figures, and merchandise for all you history and anime buffs. Supporting those links supports the channel and helps us keep making more videos like this one. Cut the fluff. Thanks for watching Legendary Anime Tales. We'll see you in the next epic.